Taylor Swift has been doing something really awesome. She has been registering people to vote, which is really cool. Her fan base, they're called Swifties, right? Which I always thought was funny. So, Taylor Swift has usually traditionally not been very political. She came out not that long ago as a Democrat, specifically as an anti-Trump kind of person. And that caused a little bit of backlash from the Trump people. They went crazy over that. Because, obviously, anytime anybody says anything wrong about Trump, the cultists are going to freak out. All right, so that's the first thing there. There was National Voter Registration Day on September 19th. And Taylor Swift made an Instagram post saying that you should go out and vote. 38,000 of her fans went and registered to vote that same day. So you had vote.org, which is a website which encourages people to vote, like voting activists, stuff like that. They saw a 1,000% increase in voter registrations just that same day, a few hours after she made that Instagram post. Now, I've been going around trying to find exactly how many people can be attributed to Taylor Swift asking her fans to vote, and I haven't been able to find any concrete numbers. One estimate I saw on Twitter was 2 million people. Is that true? Did 2 million people decide to register to vote, and they're going to vote in 2024 because of Taylor Swift? Because that is the coolest thing I've heard, in years. That is awesome as hell. I mean, damn. Can you imagine if every rock star came out, every rock star that had a big, following like this, and said, hey, get out there and vote. And here's the thing, Taylor Swift hasn't told anybody how to vote, to my knowledge. She hasn't gone out and said, everybody vote for Biden or whatever. She has said that she's come out as a Democrat, though, that she's a liberal. I mean, what do you expect? She's a rock star. Rock stars who are not lame tend to not be conservative. I mean, a large number of her fan base are part of the LGBTQ community. They're not going to be Republicans. So, and the thing about this is that's kind of why the Republicans have lost their minds and they all hate Taylor Swift now. So I've got a couple of tweets here. Here's one that I want to show you guys. Let's just move this on over here. Turn on my thing. This is from Liz Power. Not really sure who Liz Power is. But I want to play this little Fox News segment for you guys. Joe Concha is horrified that Taylor Swift, who is 33, said, "Let's fucking go" during a sporting event. I'm sorry if I heard that my son was dating a girl with a mouth like a Teamster.
Here you have Taylor Swift, probably just met Travis Kelce's mom for the first time. They're at the game last week, and she's going, "Let's effing go," right in front of her.
But Travis Kelce said that everybody in the booth that she was sitting in, his family, everybody said that she was so lovely.
Lovely. Until, I'm sorry, if I heard that and my son was dating a girl who has a mouth like a Teamster, that's it. Either way, this couple is already more annoying.
Yeah. Now, that's the most petty, ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my entire life. Why would you who cares, right? But that's the thing, is that they have to find something to get mad at Taylor Swift for. Because they can't straight out come out and say, we hate Taylor Swift because she's encouraging people to vote, because that, kind of takes the mask off of the fact that Republicans hate it when people vote. That's the thing. When people vote, Republicans lose elections, and they know it. And especially when young people vote, they know that as well. That's no secret. And this is why you're always getting Republicans, specifically from the GOP. When I say it now, I'm not saying Republicans as like a synonym for conservatives. I'm saying specifically Republicans are always trying to prevent people from voting. The less people who vote, the more likely they are to win. They know it. It's been like that for a long, long time, especially when it comes to young people. People under 25 why? Because they tend to vote Democratic. Why? Because the Democrats are not raging bigots or homophobes. at least not on the outside. And they disagree with conservative Republican social agendas. Things like, oh, I don't know, outlawing women's reproductive rights, stuff like that. Right? So they got to find anything they can to try to criticize Taylor Swift for. It's like, what, she has a potty mouth? Get the fuck out of here. Such bullshit. Here's another one. This is from somebody named Sean Davis. This is Sean Davis. Taylor Swift is dumb and her music sucks. From thefederalist.com, Taylor Swift's popularity is a sign of societal decline. I mean, so a sign of societal decline? Taylor Swift? I guess poverty, I would say, would be a bigger sign of societal decline, wouldn't you say? Or drug addiction, or teen dropout rates maybe, or the number of homeless people, something like that. I mean, wouldn't those be much better indicators of the sign of societal decline? The just general wealth that the lower 99 has been able to accumulate, how it's going down, or maybe life expectancy would much better indicator that things are not as good as they used to be. You know, that's actually gone down for the first time in a long time, life expectancy, mainly due to COVID. But still, no, it's Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift is the reason why America's crumbling. Get the fuck out of my face. Fucking stupid as hell. Here's some Twitter rando named The Rock Rebel. No idea who this person... I think this is just some random fucking person. The Rock Rebel. She's not even cute. Besides the fact she's a diehard liberal, she is lanky and awkward and her music sucks unless you're 12. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but once you get past a certain age, all of the music sucks. Have you noticed that? Like, every single thing, to me, as someone in my 40s, every single thing I hear that is, like, produced in the last, like 15, 20 years is, like, shitty. I don't think I've heard, like, one song that I've actually identified with. Sometimes, no, that's not true. That's not true. Sometimes I'll hear something, and because it sounds like the music I grew up with, and then I might like it. But, like, for contemporary sort of popular pop artists, like, I don't really... It's not that I hate the music of anything out there, like Nicki Minaj or something. It's not like I don't like any of that music. It's just, it doesn't speak to me because I don't care about it because, you know, I'm not with it. I mean, I used to be with it, and then they changed what it is, and now everything is weird and scary. I mean, you know, it'll happen to you. Right? So why is this grown woman who's obviously in her 30s, you know, she's lanky and awkward and her music sucks unless you're 12? Well, yeah, you're not going to like it because you're like an adult, and Taylor Swift makes music for children. Pop musicians, by the way, that's their music. They're making music for teenagers because that's where the money is, because teenagers are the ones that actually buy music. Adults and shit don't buy music. Not really. You buy the shit that you were into when you were a kid. When you were like a young person growing up. Maybe occasionally you might hear something new and you go, okay, that's pretty good. You know, like I might hear something from, you know, some band or whatever and like, all right, that's catchy, whatever, I like it. But it's part of usually a genre of music that I liked growing up. Very rare that I hear something that's in like top of the pop charts or something and go, oh, I really like that. I think the last song I liked that I heard that was like popular was that Uptown Funk song. Uptown Funk, gonna give it to you. You know that song? But that sounds like something that came out in like 1982. Like, seriously, that sounds like the music that was around when I was a kid. It's, you know, so it's not like modern pop music, which I just really don't really resonate with. And it's not that I hate it. It's not that I'll turn it off when I hear like Katy Perry, or if I hear actually kind of got, because my wife likes Katy Perry, so I kind of got a little familiar with it, and it's okay. You know, it's like I can listen to it and it's fine, and I'm not gonna like, you know, object. I mean, even sometimes it's a little catchy. But it's just not really my thing. It's not what I would choose to listen to by myself in the car. Stuff like that, because you're old. I'd rather listen to, like, the stuff I used to listen to. Led Zeppelin and shit. Classic rock. The Who and Led Zeppelin and fucking Nine Inch Nails and shit. Like, I'd rather listen to the stuff that I grew up with and, whatever, right? So that's just what happens when you get older. And so the fact it's like, oh, she's lanky and her music sucks unless they're 12. It's like, well, yeah, well, fucking obviously. Obviously, you're not going to like it. That doesn't mean that her music sucks. Taylor Swift's music doesn't suck. It does not. It's just pop music. I mean, people said the same shit about Christina Aguilera and then before her Madonna, for fuck's sake. Pink and all that. They're all the same thing. It's all music made by fucking machines. And when I say machines, I mean like corporations and stuff in order to appeal to a certain age demographic. That's exactly what it is. And there's nothing wrong with it. Some of it can be kind of good sometimes, right? I don't know. Anyway, moving on. Here is somebody... Let's open this one. This is a very strange take here. Somebody named Andy. Is it just me? Or is it weird Taylor Swift has no children and is basically the most successful woman of our time and 33 years old? She's trans and poisoning young girls to hate men. Her face does not look feminine to me either. Something is off. Let's break this one down. Now, this is just some guy. It's not like this is like a pundit or whatever, It's not like we're looking at Ben Shapiro or some shit. But let's break this down a little bit. Is Taylor Swift the most successful woman of our time? I don't think so. I think that would be Oprah, wouldn't it? Isn't Oprah like a billionaire or some shit? Actually, isn't Kylie Jenner a billionaire? So, is Taylor Swift a billionaire? I don't think she's a billionaire. I think she's the most maybe successful pop artist, but is she even the most successful one? Doesn't Katy Perry still make music? Aren't there like a whole bunch of like Nicki Minaj and a bunch of this? Well, they're all pop artists too. They all make shitloads of money also. So is it Taylor Swift the most popular one? Like female pop artists. And then you get into like other male ones, which I don't even know who the fuck is out there. I'm so disconnected from popular music. I have no fucking clue about any of this shit. Kanye or something? Is he still making music? I have no idea. But still, it's like, is she the most successful? No. She's trans and poisoning young girls to hate men. Taylor Swift is trans? I don't think so. This is part of what's called trans investigations, which I'm actually going to talk about next. And it's when crazy Christians go around and basically look at photos and accuse every woman out there of being trans. They never do it to men, by the way. They only look at women and they say, this person's trans. And it's supposed to be like there's some kind of fucking weird ass like conspiracy that all of the women, the popular celebrities and shit are being replaced by men or something as part of some crazy Jewish LGBTQ agenda to like turn all of your kids gay or whatever. It's such bullshit. Got a video coming up. Actually, I'm going to be talking about that as our next subject. So that's fucking horseshit. I don't understand that stuff. I mean, is this just because... I don't know. It's because Taylor Swift is a Democrat. Like a progressive. That she's telling her fans to vote and she came out as anti-Trump. If she was conservative, if she came out and was like a pro-Trump person, this person would be sitting there kissing her ass right here. And it's just indicative of the kind of lies and abuse that gets thrown around from the right wing, and it's completely normal now for this kind of thing. Is this person, Andy, is anybody going to like hold this person accountable for saying this shit? Is he going to get banned for saying this? This is like borderline fucking hate speech right here. No, nothing's going to happen to this guy. In fact, he's going to get more viewers. Such bullshit, right? It's like hate has been normalized so much on the right that we just expect it now. This is from Alex Rosen. Taylor Swift is the embodiment of vote blue no matter who. Just nothing but pure emotion and baseless talking points. Complete drama queen. I'm not even going to bother watching this video. So Alex Rosen is actually a musician with a band called Go Go Gorilla. He is an anti-vaxxer, a pretty big-time anti-vaxxer, it appears, and is a self-proclaimed warrior against pedophiles. Apparently hates Taylor Swift because she is a liberal. Because why? Why does this guy, whose main thing, if you go on this dude's Twitter, Alex Rosen, his main thing seems to be that he's against like child sex trafficking and all that, which I haven't really looked into it, but if I had to take a guess, I would say it's most likely connected to some kind of QAnon type belief. I have not looked into that. That is speculation on my part. I haven't gone through his Twitter feed and all his social media to see if that lines up. Just a suspicion, because usually when right-wingers of all stripes make it part of their identity to be against child sex trafficking, it's because of QAnon. So, I don't know. I will say that this is just speculation. But anyway, why would somebody who is up about protecting the little baby kids and all that from the trafficking, that kind of thing, why would he be giving Taylor Swift shit? I mean, is Taylor Swift guilty of child sex trafficking? No. It's because of a stereotype. It's a stereotype that all liberals and Democrats are pedophiles. That's what this guy is talking about. That's what he's saying here. You know, why he's giving her shit for saying vote blue for no matter who, because he thinks it's going to enable the evil LGBTQ child abusers or whatnot. Because he's a fucking idiot. That's why. It's a stereotype that, like, insane conservative Christians have used to smear leftists and Democrats and progressives and all that. And here's the thing, you know, a lot of people on the left, they'll say, like, well, we're not the same thing. You know, you can't lump all those groups together because they're not the same thing, and they're not. But according to them, they are. According to the right wing in this country, they are. If you're not a Trump supporter, you might as well be a commie. Right. That's absolutely true. And it doesn't matter even if you're like a social democrat or a communist or a socialist. They don't make those distinctions. To them, it's all the same. To them, it's like you're either 100% a Trump person, you're either a MAGA person, or you might as well be like fucking Karl Marx. And that also automatically makes you a pedophile for some reason too. It's all like they've blurred all this stuff together. The anti-trans bigotry and rhetoric has hit the point where if you just vote for a Democrat, you might as well be a pedophile to these people. You might as well be abducting children and selling them and shit. That's how insane these people are. That's how much like the far right wing and the religious conservatives and the insane QAnon nutbags have all just sort of melded together, where it's essentially indistinguishable. And there's very few, if any, moderates left on the right wing. You know, the adults have left the fucking building. And that's why you get people like this saying the shit they do without any repercussions at all. Alex Rosen, I mean, this is like, he's like a mainstream like musician with like reach and money and power and an audience. And he could say shit and people will take him seriously. And he's sitting here criticizing another musician because she got her followers to register to vote. That's what it is. Because she got her followers to register to vote. Because fascism hates democracy. That's why. This is just some rando mom that I found out here. They had the good sense, whoever this was, to block out her name. Taylor Swift is going to mess up this whole election. The Democrats view this as too important. She has gotten 2 million kids to register in the last couple of weeks. She'll be talking to them into voting D at some later point in time. It's entirely sad that anyone who cares for this woman tells them to vote for. I wouldn't take her recommendation on a restaurant, let alone president of the greatest country in the world. Republican moms should be refusing to pay for her indoctrination of their children via concerts and merch. Actually, they should have done so a long time ago. I have never and never will give this far leftist a dime. A few things I want to say about this. I don't know how, like I said before, I'm not sure how many people have registered to vote because of Taylor Swift. If it is 2 million, like this insane person is claiming, that would be phenomenal. Now, keep in mind, this is just some rando on Twitter, so we don't really know, because you got to remember the right wing, they believe funny things and they just make shit up all the time. So it could very well be that she has not gotten, it's most likely that she hasn't gotten 2 million people to register to vote. But if she has, that is the greatest fucking thing I've heard all year. Fantastic, and congrats to Taylor Swift. Seriously, if she's gotten 2 million people to register to vote, she deserves like the fucking Nobel Peace Prize or some shit. Like, well, I don't know, maybe not, maybe that's a little too much, but still, she deserves like super fucking kudos. Good for her. She's awesome. Right. Who knows? I hope it's that much. So far, Taylor Swift has been very kind of neutral in her politics. She came out as a Democrat, but her concerts and stuff, she doesn't get up in the middle of her concerts and start talking about policies and who you should vote for. It would be great if she did. If she went up and said, hey, everybody, vote for this person because they'll give you universal health care, or this is why we all need regulation of the beef industry, or this is why war is bad. Like, if she actually got up and said shit like that, this is why we should have a UBI, and that kind of thing. Like, if she actually got up and talked about shit like that, that would be fucking awesome. And I would seriously consider maybe even listening to her music, even though it just does not really interest me because, I'm not a 12-year-old girl. But still, it's like, that would be fucking fantastic. As far as I know, she doesn't actually do that. As far as I know, she came out in an interview, I think, talking about how she's like a Democrat. And the reason why, if I remember right, was because of the anti-LGBTQ, anti-trans hatred and rhetoric that's coming out of the right wing. And a large portion of her audience are LGBTQ. So maybe she only said that for business reasons. You got to keep that in mind too. Taylor Swift is 33. She's a businesswoman, in addition to being an entertainer. She has consultants and media controllers that are screening what she says and does. Like, that's another thing you got to remember when it comes to pop stars like this. They don't just do shit to do it. They, especially nowadays, this may not have been as common 20, 30 years ago, but especially nowadays when the paparazzi are around every fucking corner and every single thing you do or say or tweet or even where you go or what clothes you're wearing are scrutinized like hell when you're a famous person, because people will find fault with anything. Like, seriously, anything. You could wear the wrong brand of pants and they'd be like, that clothing company has they sell their clothes in a factory that's made in the Amazon rainforest and they kill dolphins and shit. Like, seriously, like, it doesn't matter what you do. You could go eat at a restaurant and be like, well, and someone will get mad at you. And that restaurant endorses, it's owned by this guy who endorses this other person who blah, 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 blah. And you can get fucking canceled for like the dumbest fucking shit that you have no control over at all. Stuff that you didn't even know was there. They have social media managers to make sure that they don't do anything stupid, that they don't fuck up like that they don't accidentally share the stage with a Nazi or something, right? That's what they have. They have people that manage all of this stuff, making sure, and to make sure that she doesn't like get drunk at 4 in the morning like fucking Donald Trump does or something, and like embarrass herself. Like, that's what they have. So no. She's not just some willy-nilly person going out and saying, no, it's very carefully crafted. So you keep that in mind too. So maybe, just maybe, her coming out in favor of politics here was something that was carefully planned as well in order to resonate with her audience. Keep that in mind also, folks. Right? So here's the other thing here. I wouldn't take her recommendation on a restaurant, let alone the president of the greatest country in the world. Is it the greatest country in the world? Is it really? I mean, this is kind of an aside to this, But I don't know about you. I'm getting a little fucking tired of people saying that because the United States isn't the greatest country. I mean, we have the greatest military in the world. That's not a mistake. That's absolutely true. There's more to your country than its capability for warfare, though. I mean, maybe if we had some universal health care, maybe if we had a UBI, maybe if we treated our immigrants a little better, or the people that we sent to prison, maybe if we treat those people a little better, maybe if we got rid of like some of the police officers who will just like beat the shit out of you or kill you for no goddamn reason. Do you see that video the other day about the cop that body slammed that guy that was like just walking to work in the morning, and like this fucking cop walks up and just puts him in cuffs, and then the guy's like, what's going on? Why? He just wanted an explanation. Cop wouldn't give it to him. And then like cop just fucking body slammed him, ended up breaking his fucking shoulder and all that stuff, and this guy's gonna have pins in his shoulder for the rest of his life. The cop just got fired. That was it. Oh, you just got fired. That's it. You just crippled this guy. He's gonna have problems, health problems now for fucking decades because your ass. You're just fired. No actual criminal like charges brought up. Shit like that. Does shit like that happen in like France or England? No. Not really. I mean, well, I'm sure it does, but does it happen to the extent that it happens here? Probably not. I mean, maybe we're not the best fucking country in the world when shit like that happens. I don't know. But that's an aside here. I do want to, before we leave this one, I do want to agree with something that this woman says, though. This last part. Republican moms should be refusing to pay for indoctrination of their children via concerts and merch. Actually, they should have done so a long time ago. I never have and will never give this far leftist a dime. I agree with that. I agree with if you don't like the music your kids listen to, then it is your prerogative whether or not you're going to pay for them to go. I also think that the kid can give you a giant middle finger and raise the money themselves, and you should not stop them from going because it's not your life, it's their life. But I agree with that. I mean, I do agree that, yeah, you should, if you don't like somebody, like let's say that I had a son and he wanted to go like see Andrew Tate. Would I pay for his ass to go? Like, let's say Andrew Tate was doing a talk someplace and my son wanted to go see Andrew Tate get up on stage and talk about how, like, I don't know, women are bad or some shit. Like, would I pay for Andrew Tate to go? Nope. Would I say, hey, you're not allowed to go? Maybe. Depends on how old he was, But if he was a teenager, he had his own job and his own car, and he wanted to go whether I liked it or not. Would I stop him? Probably not. Probably wouldn't stop him. I think that at a certain point, your child, I think basically when your child's in high school, they should be allowed to do whatever they want. Maybe junior high, when you're like, grade school for sure, what you say goes. Junior high, you should start giving your, middle school, you should start giving your child more freedoms to allow them to do things. By the time they're in high school, they have a driver's license, they're getting ready for college, they're having sex and shit like that on their own, they're doing drugs if they feel like it, they're hanging out with friends, stuff like that, they have a job. By that point, no, you should step back and be like, hey, son, don't go to that. Well, I'm going anyway. All right, well, don't believe any of that shit you hear there. You know what I'm saying? Like, you should not prevent them. That's just my own personal belief, But I can get behind, like, not giving them money for it. It's like, all right, you want to go to this fucking thing, then you're going to have to get the $70 yourself because I ain't giving you shit to see that asshole. Like, I completely understand that part. So, anyway, just my own 2 cents. Last one here, guys, and then we'll get off of the Taylor Swift train here. This is from somebody named Roger Kimball, responding to Sean Davis, and she is homely. Taylor Swift is dumb and her music sucks, blah, blah, blah. This guy replies, and she is homely. This is what Roger Kimball looks like, by the way. I don't think he should be talking. I mean, homely, for those of you who have never heard the term, is the opposite of comely, which basically homely means she's ugly, is what she's trying to say. Now, I'm not a major Taylor Swift fan. Let's turn this shit off here. By the way, Roger Kimball is the editor of the New Criterion Journal, which is a conservative rag that nobody reads. But this is not just some random fucking asshole on Twitter. This is like a guy with an actual job and a position, is a journalist, and he's sitting here like commenting on the looks of a famous pop star. I don't understand this moron. When he is like in his, mid 50s and, has half of his hair gone and shit like that, and is like overweight by 50 pounds, trying to say Taylor Swift is ugly. Now, I'm not a giant fan of Taylor Swift. I don't even think I could name one of her songs if you paid me. I mean, didn't she do the Shake It Off song? I think she did that song. Okay, maybe I could name one song. But I think we can all agree that Taylor Swift is not homely. She's not an ugly person. She's actually rather attractive. I think we can all, even if you don't like her, if you don't like her music, if you don't like her politics, whatever, I think we can all agree that she's not ugly, right? Can we all agree that? I think we can all agree to that. And I think that kind of shows, that tweet there just kind of shows the lengths that these fucking cretins will fall to. They don't like her politics. They can't talk about her politics. They don't talk about her politics. None of those tweets that I just showed you, none of the other sort of criticisms I found of Taylor Swift ever talk about her actual politics. Because what are Taylor Swift's politics? Taylor Swift's politics are the politics that young people reflect nowadays. An acceptance of LGBTQ rights, an encouragement of voting rights, a pro-environmental message, stuff like that. Her politics are positive, and they're things that people like, so they can't talk about that. So what do they talk about instead? Oh, she's ugly. Oh, she's a trans person. Oh, she's whatever. It's, I think, very indicative of what's wrong with these motherfuckers. They can't compete when it comes to policy. So they have to rely on superficial bullshit like looks. And Republicans have always been like that. Specifically, Republicans have always been like that. They've always been very superficial when it comes to just their public figures in general. This is why it matters, right? Why am I talking about Taylor Swift to fucking begin with? Okay, Taylor Swift got people to vote. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Who cares? Why do I think it's such a great thing that Taylor Swift got people to vote? Because every vote counts. It all counts. Remember, 2020, Biden won the presidency by a very small margin. Now you think like, oh, well, I thought he got like 8 million more votes than Donald Trump. Yeah, he did. The popular vote was no contest, and the popular vote has not been a contest for the last 20 years. George W. Bush didn't win the popular vote either. He won by electoral college. So what's the big deal? Well, Biden won, even though Biden won by 8 million votes in the popular vote, he only won the electoral college by about 50,000 votes spread out over 3 states. And that's first off, it should be wrong. I don't know why we're still using the goddamn electoral college. I say that every election I talk about this, and I don't know, is this shit ever going to change? I hope it does one day. But there should be no instance where 8 million more people vote for somebody and then the other guy wins. That just, something is wrong with your democracy when shit like that is happening. That's the first thing, right? Second thing is, that's how narrow the margin is. So every vote counts. All it's going to take is 50,000 votes in 3 states, 3 battleground states to flip. It was Georgia, Pennsylvania, and then the last one I think was Michigan. Those are battleground states. There's no guarantee that Democrats are going to clean up in those states at all this next time around. They go red, they go blue. That's what battleground means. It's like it could be, they're up in the air. So every single vote counts. So if Taylor Swift is able to get, 38,000 people to register to vote in those 3 states, that very well could cost the election. And those people vote according to her politics. There's no guarantee of that either. There's no guarantee that any of these people are going to vote the way Taylor Swift votes. I mean, that's the other thing you got to remember. Young people are not fucking robots that just do whatever you tell them. It's perfectly capable. I mean, there's plenty of young people who are conservative as well, which is ridiculous and scary. You know what? That looks like shit. We're going to get rid of that. So this is why it matters. So this is why it's great. I mean, it's great that but here's the thing. If you win legitimately, if you lose legitimately, whatever, that's fine. If more people actually vote for the other guy, you got to accept it. That's just what democracy is. So you just do the best you can. You get as many people out there to vote for your side as you possibly can. And we should have, I mean, if it was up to me, voting would be mandatory. I would say, you either vote or you don't get your tax return. That's what I would do. If I was running everything, it'd be like Australia. You wouldn't have a choice. Get your ass out there and vote. It'd be just like, how you have compulsory jury duty. You have an obligation to vote. It's not going to happen because we have freedom in this country. Part of freedom is the freedom to choose not to participate. And just because myself personally think that you shouldn't have that freedom, oh well. I'm in the minority here, so it'll probably never happen. But if I was fucking in charge, you'd be forced to fucking vote, but you're not. So that means that we got to work our asses off to get everybody out there and voting. And that's the thing. If everybody voted and, we had a clear mandate from the people, then you couldn't complain. It's like, well, everybody voted and Trump won. Oh, well. It sucks. I fucking hate it. But that's how it worked. You know what I mean? That's what democracy is all about. Democracy is about compromise. So you have to compromise with the people that you don't like. And part of that, but in order for that to even happen, those people have to participate in the first place. And that's why it's so fucking important to get people out there participating. So kudos to Taylor Swift. Great job. And let's all get your ass out there in 2024 and vote.
Hello folks, if you like what I do and you want to support the channel, please consider buying something from my Etsy shop, supporting me on Patreon, liking and subscribing, and checking me out across my social media links listed below. Thank you all so much, and see you next time.